All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to day number 2 of this Stay Plugged In Western Showcase here with Overwatch today. I am joined by wonderful co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? I am Quickness here to commentate on some terrific Overwatch games today.
And I myself am Tech Runeskin. If you've been on the Trinity Esports Championship stream, you've probably heard both of our voices before actually casting Overwatch. And we're super excited to be here on the Stay Plugged In channel for this Western Showcase. So today is going to be Overwatch. We're going to be watching two teams battle against each other in a best of 3. Um, we're hopefully going to see both of these teams just, leave it all on the field today, and we're going to see some great Overwatch.
Definitely. And I recognize a few of these players from the TEC league that you guys ran. Also, I got a few of players that I have coached previously. I'm excited to see them pop off and do big things. But it's always fun to see high school kids competing and really just going at it and making the most out of it. And also like being able to be showcased for their skill set to be recruited by some of these esports programs. It's just awesome. It's good to see. It's a lot of fun. I think the interesting thing, though, Rinskin, is these are throw together teams, correct?
Right. I think so. I know for a fact that Team Tracer is a throw together team. Team Vikings might be 5 of them. I think might have registered together, and I'll get that
Okay, all right.
information right now.
All right.
Um,
And on Team Tracer, there's two of my previous two teammates that have played together quite a bit. There might be another kind of like 2 or 3 that have played together quite a bit on the same team. So it'll be interesting to see like can this throw together group compete against a group of players that have played a lot together and see if they can kind of mesh together and do well, because that's one of the like awesome things about having high school kids play through these leagues is they really learn how to cooperate and how to communicate and quickly like problem solve and put things together. So I'm really interested to see if Team Tracer can really be successful as a throw together.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that too. And so, looking at it, it looks like actually all of Team Vikings is they came together as a squad. Um,
Wow.
And then Team Tracer, from what I see, so I recognize 2 players as players from St. John Bosco High School, 2 players from West High,
Yep.
and then 1 player from Norwalk, and I'm not sure about the last one. I'm gonna see if I can get some info on Ender, and if I find anything, I'll let you all know. Ender might be the last wild card, kind of. But still, that's kind of cool. And I actually want to add on how it's cool that all of these players on Team Tracer have competed against each other. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they've
They're familiar. There's some familiarity there.
exactly. I was gonna say they have a different sort of insight into play styles.
Definitely. I mean, it's kind of funny too that these kids probably haven't heard each other's voices before. Some of them, because like the teammates rather play together, but the people that have played against each other consistently, they're probably hearing each other's voices for the first time, which is pretty. It's kind of funny to think about. Um, and it's funny to see they're probably like, hey, I remember you. You're the guy that snuck up and slammed us. They're like, yeah, I remember. You're the guy that blossomed us. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm sure there's some good camaraderie going on right now.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a different kind of camaraderie that you might not have expected, but I'm sure these players are just like, getting right into it, getting right into either the friendly like, hey, what are we gonna do, or the banter.
Oh, it's gotta be a good mix. It's gotta be a good mix. But no, I was actually talking to Alex Mufasa earlier, one of my just graduating players. And he was like, yeah, this should be fun. Like he's like, I hope we can calm, hope we can do stuff. He's like, I'm just gonna have to shot call. I'm gonna have to make it happen if we don't have some strong voices. I'm like, yeah, man, take control, like get it done. But hopefully, I'm guessing since all of these kids have played through the TEC season and probably a lot before that and played in the team environment, they know what it's about. They're ready to go. They know what they need to do, and that's the big difference, right, between video games and esports. It's the sport part and working together and the teamwork aspect of it. This isn't solo queue. This is 6v6, whole different ball game.
Right. You could argue it's maybe the hardest esport to coordinate because you have so many players on one team. That's 6 different play styles you have to accommodate for, not to mention 6 different play styles you're playing against. That's a lot to keep in mind.
Yeah, I would say Overwatch is probably one of probably one of the more complex games to coordinate and to work together in as an esport. Just because it is one part MOBA, another part essentially Call of Duty. So having to account for 5 teammates and 6 enemy members is quite a bit with cooldowns and ultimates and all of these different things. It's a lot of work to keep up with. So game sense is just crucial.
And so, speaking of game, we are now in game, loaded up. Team Vikings versus what was it? I'm already forgetting the name of the other team. Apologize.
Team Tracer.
Team Tracer. I'm going to keep that in mind now. Team Vikings and Team Tracer. So looks like we're waiting for these players to pick characters. We're on Ilios. This is a control map, so we're going to see both teams fighting over one kind of central point on the map. First team to win 2 of those 3 engagements is going to take it.
I'm interested to see if what everybody comes out on too, because like I said, we could have as we have throw togethers, right? You could just have 6 DPS players that were all thrown together, and they have to kind of now figure out and adjust of who can play what. But I'm already seeing we got Alex Mufasa on the tank, we got Kingo on the Lucio, my one-trick Lucio from last season. So I think we should be seeing some good stuff. Ooh, looks like they're going. It's almost like a dive mirror. Yeah, it looks like it's a diamond. Junkrat and Reaper, though. Oh, no. Going with the Genji. All right,
Genji,
so
okay.
basically a dive mirror. This should be interesting with Reaper over the Tracer for Team Viking.
All right, I'm excited to see this first engagement right here. All right, looks like we have both teams engaging. Vikings already inside the main central little building.
Oh, yeah, they're squaring off. They just jumping right onto the point. You can see everybody's kind of staying up on top of each other. Oh, but Hookbait with those dash resets. And look at that. Look at that. They are clearly talking coordinated. You can see 4 team members from Team Tracer all dove in to finish off that Reaper, said you're not getting out.
That is practically a team wipe.
Yeah, these guys have clearly been talking it up while we were sitting there waiting for the stream to start. Yeah. And look at this. They're already taking the high ground. They're coordinating. Man, have these guys played together? Have we? Are we sure they're not?
Yeah, this is crazy to see. All right, looks like we have Winston. He's a little bit shy, but we have Diva gonna push him off. Yeah, Vikings is kind of in a corner right now. Alex Mufasa going in.
As per usual, we all gas, no brakes. Ooh, big pulse bomb onto the Reaper. That's going to turn this into a 6 versus 5. And then look at the aggression coming out of Team Tracer, hunting down those squishies. But actually, quite a lot of sustain from Team Viking, though. But then they're going to go ahead and lose their Moira. And wow, they're wanting to stuff it in the spawn. They're just trying to max bleed down that clock.
Yeah, that was a great disengage from Vikings initially, but I'm going to guess it was Alex Mufasa who was like, we push again. And we're at spawn now. We're fighting at spawn.
Oh, wow. And they commit the beat just to get out of their spawn there. Maybe not necessary because they did take all of Alex Mufasa down right there, but I think they just really want to turn the momentum back in their favor because you can see this whole time Team Tracer has controlled the point. Out comes the Blade, though. See if Hookbait can make something of it. Here comes Coalescence as well. This is heating up here.
Yeah, it looks like, the Monkey ult is down, but it looks like, the Coalescence is going to do some work. Another Coalescence coming out from Vikings.
Wow.
Is that going to be able to sustain them in this fight? Very effective in these small spaces. Another Blade.
Out comes the Primer. It's a Q party on point right now. I mean, it's interesting to see how this is all working out. With it looks like Team Tracer is actually just kind of getting the upper hand in the end, and they're just kind of winning the rock paper scissors match here of everyone hitting Q.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it seemed like, I think Tracer played it really well. They saw that initial Winston ult and the Coalescence. They played it very safe and waited for that Blade to come in, for their Winston ult to come in, and it all worked out for them.
Beautiful staggering. You see that the counter dive from Alex Mufasa there as well, just saying, nope, you're not getting in here, Winston. Looks like Lucio's skirting the point, though, trying to keep this alive.
Yeah, and that was
Moira as well.
Yeah, Moira's in now. The rest of the team is not far behind. It is time for them to contest this point.
Wow. Excellent beat coming out from Lucio, too. We see Hookbait just stuffing the Blossom back in his face as well. Ball's trying to keep this alive, but I think it's going to be Team Tracer taking this in the end. Wow, quick .1.
Yeah, those were some great ult-timed ultimates. Like, we saw Tetroid Vigor with that Devo ult, like, putting it in that building. Nobody can be in that building when that Devo ult goes off, right?
Yeah, smart. That's just really, really good zoning. You can see that Team Tracer is really just playing for tempo here. And they're really wanting to push those advantages they get and just all gas, no brakes all the time. They don't want to give them a second to restack. They just want to keep the stagger going. They just want to punish anybody that thinks about trying to hang out there a little too long after the team fight is lost. And you can see Team Vikings, they were bringing back a few of those fights. They were getting key picks, but the problem was Team Tracer had the tempo, and then when you push them into their spawn like that, even if you lose a few bodies, you still have control of the point. And by the time that those picks come in and out, your team is back on the point anyways, so nothing really was accomplished there.
Right, and now we have a very infamous map, and of course we do see a we have the hole in the middle. We have a Roadhog. Let's see if he can get any good hooks.
Yeah, Alex Mufasa already going down to that Lucio. Looks like he got hooked in by the Hog. Maybe didn't mean to jump in his face there, but you know, that's how it goes. And this is actually a 5v6 right now, but Team Tracer's doing a really good job of kind of skirting the edge and kiting, but now they just lose their other tank as well. Alex Mufasa actually swapping off to the Hog immediately. Says, I don't want to deal with their Hog on Winston. Getting a pretty key pick, and then out comes the res on Tetroid Vigor as well. But it looks like Vikings Echo is just doing them. Oh, right into the hole though. What a hook!
Oh, that's two. Sigma going down as well.
Oh my, Kingo is just going off right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's a. Oh, I thought that was a third. Lucio's just jumping over. What am I thinking? Oh, and Tracer getting control of the point.
Wow.
What great play, playing around those two tanks being down. They back off, strategically push back on the point. This is great coming from this pickup group.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very smart play. Good positioning. And look, they've changed their entire tank lineup. Recognize immediately that dive tanks into this Hog is going to be an issue. So swapping off, and oh, don't do him like that.
Alex Mufasa is a cruel Roadhog.
He is very good Roadhog. Pretty rude, one might say.
All right, so once again, we see Tracer very comfortably keeping Vikings off the point. Vikings playing it very safe. I think they're probably waiting for ults. They have that Roadhog and Coalescence and now Sigma as well. And there's Sigma.
And they're just going off on
what a
both
hook.
teams trading beats, though. Wow. Tank's just squaring up in this tiny little choke. But, oh, we have two Hogs for Team Tracer.
Yeah. What an ender with some great little Echo play. Why did I call him Tracer?
Excellent Echo play. Starting this engagement by catching Team Vikings Echo off with that really dirty focusing beam that, man, that thing is just busted. If you catch someone at 50% health and you put that thing off, they just melt. And then picking up another kill as well. And, ooh, Alex Mufasa just says, get back in the spawn. Here is the whole Hog.
Yep. Take it
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this is a brutal game here on Ilios.
But look at the coordination that we were talking about. Here, out comes the pull, out comes the hook. Like really key combos being made from both teams. It looks like Alex Mufasa jumping off the edge there. Maybe an accident. I didn't quite see what happened there.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. We do see a tank switch up now from Vikings. We now have why am I blanking all of a sudden? We have Tapistor playing that safe Reinhardt. I like it. Able to push onto the point very comfortably.
Big hook on the flank though, but Kingo actually meleeing out too. Man, this Reddit Lucio all of a sudden. Oh, but oh my! What a massive counter hook! What a massive counter hook! Did you see that Budget Pro had Kingo in the hook, couldn't get the shot off before Alex Mufasa just pulled him off.
And a res on the hook bait. Yeah, that Tracer has the point.
Wow.
What a play there at the end to secure the win for Team Tracer on this game number 1 on Ilios.
Just very dominant performance from Team Tracer. You could see that they just did such a tremendous job of staying alive and keeping the tempo going on. Here comes the whole Hog.
Yeah, that whole Hog got 2 kills right here near the spawn. That was key to just slowing down this counter push from Vikings. Awesome play from Alex Mufasa.
That's styling, as I say. With the environmental kill, 79 kill participation from Ender, though. Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's huge.
Yeah, we saw his really good ultimate there near the end as well. Great player. Players
two Hogs are better than one, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So once again, that was only game number 1. This is going to be a best of 3 event, so there are still potentially 2 games left in store. when I know which map we're going to be playing on next, I'll let you know very soon. Um, but yeah, what a great game from Team Tracer and Team Vikings.
Yeah, fantastic game to see, and it probably felt a little rough for Team Vikings there, but they just really couldn't get their footing to turn the tide. And I think that was kind of the issue was they were getting some good picks. They were starting to win some of those engagements, but Team Tracer just did such a good job of kind of tempoing them out. And then when they had the upper hand, they played very fast, they played very aggressive, and then they were down a body or two. They played very slow, they kited, they played their angles, and they just focused on surviving. And by the time they did all of that and really played it properly, uh, the people they lost were already back on point, and then the advantage got by Team Vikings just didn't matter anymore. So it was just kind of a matter of tempo and timing that really affected the pace of this game.
Yeah, we saw what was it, the at the very beginning of the match, we had two dive comps against each other, and I think just Team Tracer just had their heads wrapped around that kind of play style better.
Yeah, and you could see there was a lot of solid play out of Team Tracer's tanks. For point map one of Ilios, you could see that the Winston and the Diva were up on that perch, just waiting to jump down and playing, really on top of each other. And then you could see where the Genji would come in and get those dash resets, following up on the right target. So like that was just really excellent shot calling and really excellent coordination out of Team Tracer. But I think what really brought them to that victory was just the aggression that they showed when they had the upper hand. But then again, like I said, you saw them slow the pace of the game down and play for survival long enough for them to get their bodies back that they dropped to Team Vikings. Because if you remember on point two of Ilios, Vikings took out both tanks for Team Tracer in the very first fight. But that Echo and Mercy were able to kind of kite the enemy team and float around a little bit and just kind of dance around the point enough for Alex Mufasa to come back on the Roadhog, put someone in the hole, and then all of a sudden now it's a 5v5 and it's a fair fight again. And then the next pick they get, they just go back to aggression mode, and then they just keep them in their spawn, not coming out of that choke really ever again the rest of the match, and they're able to cap the first point, and then they couldn't regain that tempo to win a fight. So it's really a tempo game that they were playing.
So I'm excited to see what the new strategy is on the next map. This next map is going to be Eichenwald, a hybrid map. Eichenwald, very interesting because it goes between like that. So it's a hybrid. So we're going to start with a control point. Then we're going to get that. We'll get that payload section as well. It has, the kind of open, lots of elevation and stuff. We're going to go over that bridge. So we'll get more. We might see more environmental kills, and we'll have a more inside, close combat portion. So I'm excited to see what what character picks we get for this map as well. Do we see many dive comps on Eichenwald, or is this much more of a map to sit back, play maybe those more patient tank roles, or is this still like a Roadhog get those hooks, get those kills kind of dive map?
I think because of that first choke is just so conducive to having a shield and just so conducive to spam. And then it kind of is hard. You can't really jump through it that effectively. I mean, a Diva and a Winston can kind of jump over it, but then you still have the rest of your team kind of stuck there. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see probably rush comps out of the attackers. So we're talking like Lucio, Ryan Zarya, or Lucio, Ryan Diva. And then you're going to see probably maybe some double shield and some spam from the defenders. So maybe you'll see a Sigma and an Orisa with like a Junkrat or a Hanzo or some sort of hit scan to really just try to punish people trying to get to the choke. But the big thing for the attackers is they probably need that Lucio to just speed through the choke, because you can't, if you just sit there and take all that damage, more than likely you're going to burn your shield out, or a stray Junkrat ball is just going to kill somebody, and then you can't really push that fight very effectively. So what they really need to do is they need to kind of decide how we're getting through that choke. That's step one for the first point, and then past there on to point two, dive could be viable because there is a lot of high ground. There is a lot of different routes that you can take, and a lot of the time, dive tanks with verticality are important because for the defenders, if they put double hit scan up on that tower, up on that bridge, it's very hard to keep a shield up and move that payload along when you're just getting hammered from up top. But the other thing too is you can even play dive on defense for point two or even for point one, and it's as they try to commit and move that cart, you just jump on them from the high ground, and maybe you have one hit scan up there that's just cleaning people up. So I think there's some varied strategy. I'd say point one is very conducive to some sort of rush play style to just try to make it through, and then it probably opens up for point two, and then on to point three, probably rush heavy shielding again is your best bet. But Eichenwald is a really interesting map because it is very diverse in kind of what you can play.
All right, awesome. And I think that's super exciting. I love to see like the crazy picks. Like we could say we could talk about the meta picks all we want, and then someone comes out with some crazy cool pick that we didn't expect. I love to see those maps where students can like showcase their skill in a non-traditional character, a character that someone, in other situations might criticize. Oh, that's suboptimal, that's whatever. It'll be exciting to see if we have a student come out and shine in a character or in a role that we don't typically get to see them shine in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the meta is the meta, but hey man, if you're insane at something that you could play whatever you want. It's just the meta is defined by giving you the best possible chance to win by having the most favorable interactions, right? So if your mechanics and your game sense and your knowledge is so strong on a particular character that's not meta, you can still play it and be successful. Now, don't expect in when we're talking goats meta from previous, right? We're talking 3 tanks and 3 support. You're gonna have a rough time on Genji. Now, could you do it? Sure. Should you? Probably not. But if you're, the upper Genji on the planet, then yeah, you could get away with it. You can duel that Brig and that Moira, and you can win. Probably not gonna, but you could. So it's interesting. It's awesome to see off meta picks and have them be successful. 100%. I'm totally with you because that's how you know they're that good at the character because it's not a favorable matchup and they're winning.
Right, and that's so cool to see. Like I said, it's off. I love anything that's off meta in any kind of game, especially Overwatch. I love to see it. It's cool to see like something that you didn't expect. Best kind of games out there.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool too because it's interesting because you have these interactions, right, that they are skewed one way or the other, and I kind of like revert it back to if we're talking like McCree versus Genji, right? McCree is the dominant pick because he has so much utility, he has so much damage, he has the extra health, he has the CC. But on Genji, you can totally outplay him and just take him out over and over and over. Like if you realize the pattern he's throwing is flashbang, and maybe he throws typically they throw it above the head or they throw it at the feet, and you start to get the pattern of which the McCree is throwing. Now you're on Genji, and you just start aiming your deflect above your head or below at your feet or whatever it is. You're flashbanging him and taking him out over and over and over on the off meta pick, and that's just a skill on Genji. So it's really interesting that if you are good enough, you can 100% play kind of whatever you want. You just really, really have to be tight with your interactions and really know, what matters. And then also some characters you just have to avoid. You just have to stay far away from them because you're never going to win that match and try to get all the value you can out of what you can win.
So it looks like both teams are ready to roll. We're going to fire into this game pretty quickly. Any last remarks, comments before we launch into this?
I'm going to say prediction. I'm going to say the attackers are playing Rush with an Echo. And I want to say the defenders have at least one shield and some sort of spam, either a Junkrat or a Hanzo.
All right, let's see it. Game is going to start really quickly. We have 20 seconds for people to pick their characters. I'm also excited to see if we see some players kind of switch up their roles. I know it looked like Team Tracer actually had a sub. I didn't realize, and it looks like they swapped players around a little bit.
Looks like we've lost Kingo, so hope
yeah,
you had your
Kingo's
Reddit Lucio, Phil.
Yeah. All right, and here we go. Alex Mufasa on his signature Reinhardt.
I know you're happy
get
about
hyped.
that.
Get hyped.
I know you're happy about that.
All right, we see Tetra Vigor still playing tank along with Key. Ender on the DPS, Insomnia taking over that support role, Hookbait on the DPS. All right, and then over on Vikings, it looks like their roles stayed the same, but we see a Pharah I'm excited to see a Pharah push. That's kind of nice for flying over. I know that bridge with the little dip under it can be hard to push
Yeah,
through for teams, but if Pharah can just fly around it, hit people for the back, that could be
yeah,
amazing for
absolutely.
pushing on the point.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Ender to try to contain the Pharah, because Pharah is going uncontested is definitely a big problem. So it looks like about half right. They got a shield, they got some spam, and instead of an Echo, it's a Pharah. I don't see a Lucio though, so it's going to be a lot of effort on the Pharah to try to get picks and try to move the defenders back, because they don't have the speed to try to make it through that Junkrat. But ooh, Pharah actually taking down the Ana, but a clutch res coming out. That's actually huge that they got that off, and that's why I said, like, you kind of want that Lucio, because they could have really capitalized and punished on that pick, but because they don't have that speed and the Junkrat is just leveling through that choke, they couldn't really capitalize it. Oh, and here comes Alex Mufasa asserting tank dominance.
Yeah.
And look at it, he's just walking at him. Just walking at him, which isn't his normal playstyle. He's pretty reserved here. Look at that.
Oh, Ender taking down a DPS and a support down in the back.
Wow, that's huge. And very reserved Reinhardt out of Alex Mufasa here. Usually you see this guy flying into the back line.
Yeah, I guess they decided to play safe. They didn't want to fight near spawn again. Yeah, that's fine.
Man, boring. I'm just kidding.
And it is important to say that Alex Mufasa has backup from Zarya. That is huge.
Oh, big slam.
What a slam. And we have a...
Tire coming out for trading Reinhardt's here. And see, I talked about it. He said I said he wasn't hitting W. He wasn't getting in there full send, and there he goes. Big slam flying in their back line, but pretty big play out of it. I don't know.
Coalescence coming out. This is Vikings' chance to push. Valkyrie coming out.
See if they can make the most of it. Looks like both Ryans are rejoining the fight here as well.
Yeah. It looks like Vikings
taking out the Mercy.
Yeah, that's key as DPS and a support down. Oh, he lost that.
Canceled the slam.
That is huge. That was Vikings' really big opportunity to get through without that ultimate, and with 2 other players down, they have to reset. This is not the time to push for Vikings.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Budget Pro there, just getting leveled. And maybe he saw a really good opportunity to hit a bunch of them, but Ender just taking him down with that. Power Boost and McCree does a lot of damage, and you can lose very quickly that fight. But looks like we have Grav online for Team Tracer, and we have quite a few ults coming up for Team Vikings. I think they're going to want to try to make something out of this barrage. Well, but oh my gosh, that's a big tire.
What a tire from Hookbait!
Oh, that is so big.
That ruined everything. We heard the 76 ulti was online, and...
Yes. Silver... Oh, we talked about it. It's coming. Do you see our sneaky Reinhardt here?
Yep.
Hello? He's looking for it.
Oh, yeah, it looks like, yeah. Good thing we got Tetroid Vigor looking out for him, trying to make sure that that Moira doesn't go hunt him down.
The charade is up. Oh, huge slam, though. How did ever see... He's just...
He has a 6 cents. Oh, that's a pretty good Sigma ulti, though. Is that the chance to push in?
I don't know if they're gonna make it through Alex Mufasa there. He's just stuffing this choke, and out comes the nano on him as well. I think you're gonna start seeing him taking people out. Ooh.
All right. Oh, and unfortunately, that Pharah ulti is not gonna be able to do work. That is practically a team kill. That Moira just hiding in the back. Blink just gonna wait for his team to respawn.
Yeah, I think Team Vikings here are really gonna have to try to make the most out of this coalescence, and it looks like Team Tracer really only has the Valk coming up, which, can be really good in the face of Coalescence, but they're going to have to try to make the most out of this Coalescence coming out. But, Alex Mufasa says, nah, you don't need to do that.
What a shatter. That's going to shut down the rest of this push.
Man. This guy is just, I feel like he's just setting up state lines here. He's like, nah, this is my space. You go back to your space. This is my domain. You stay over there. Because you can just see, like, he was holding so much ground. Very, very rarely did Team Vikings actually even walk through that choke at all, ever. And most of the time, the tanks coming out of Team Tracer were walking them back to their spawn, just aggressively kind of holding that ground. And interestingly enough, I didn't really see the shield for Alex Mufasa go down very much at all, and that Junkrat constantly hammering the choke was taking down Team Vikings Reinhardt shield quite a bit. So it was really hard for them to try to push through that choke, just getting hit with all of that spam. And I think Ender just did such a good job of stopping that Pharah from getting picks that it really kind of just culminated in Team Vikings not really being able to push at all. Because what you have to decide is on like the Pharah, like, are you helping break the shield? Are you targeting the tanks? Or are you trying to just 100% flank, take out the squishies, and capitalize from there? But, a power boosted McCree versus a power boosted Pharah is a fair fight. And honestly, I think it really favors the McCree more than not. So it's just kind of a hard push for the Vikings to make there.
All right, let's see this push coming out. We have Alex Mufasa on that Reinhardt. I'm excited to see. Does he just go like sneaky mode right off the bat, or does he?
Maybe. Oh wow, look at this though. We got a car wash, double shield. Oh, look at that. They have their whoa.
TP. What a TP from Hookbait on that.
I didn't even see it. Is that the game? What just happened?
What?
What is going on?
Excuse me? Can we get a what?
This is a throw together? Yes, somebody's lying.
And Hookbait rightfully gets the play of the game, not for that Symmetra TP, but for that 4-man tire he got.
See, I'm sitting there looking at Team Vikings setup with their sim. I didn't even see Team Tracer TP around. Wow. That was incredible. Talk about coordination and teamwork, man. What are they did they have a playbook from a week ago? Have they been practicing? What is going on?
What was that? That was, I have to imagine Hookbait was just like, hey guys, I saw this thing. You were talking about Reddit, Lucio. I saw this thing on Reddit, Symmetra on Eichenwald. Can we try it out? And
yeah, tell me about it. Like, I think Vikings were in the same boat as me. I don't think they saw that coming either, and I didn't see it coming. So, wow, what a bunch of teamwork out of Team Tracer, and Team Vikings really just hanging in there and trying to give it their all. But again, I think it just came down to Team Tracer just really willing to play very aggressively. And I think where Team Vikings kind of failed in that regard was when they did get the upper hand, they just didn't push the initiative. They just didn't push their advantage, and they played a little bit too timid. Now, I say this in the face of spam and all of these. The DPS played incredibly well out of Team Tracer, so it's it is hard. But I think it really just kind of came down to again a tempo game. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but it really came down to a tempo game. But on top of that as well, wow, what a sim play, man! It said game start and then it said game over. Like, what just actually happened? So, wow, talk about ingenuity out of Team Tracer.
Yeah, and it looks like I just one of the players reached out to me. They said that was actually Alex Mufasa's idea. He was the one. He was the brain behind that sim teleport.
Wow. He never did that for our team. Now I'm mad at him.
Yeah. Well, now he knows, and hopefully he can pass that on to the next team.
Yeah, put that in the playbook.
Yeah, for real. I have never ever seen that kind of play before.
On Eichenwald, I haven't either, and I have spent too much time on this game, more than I want to tell, more than I want to count. And I have honestly never seen that strat before in my life. I've seen, the Hanamura TPs. I've seen Havana TPs. I've seen all sorts of weird strats. Obviously, we all know the Lijiang window TP, but I have never seen that weird wraparound TP on Eichenwald. That just blew my mind. Apparently, I shouldn't even be in competitive because I don't know what just happened. But yeah. Wow.
I'm going to have to watch that clip like 10 more times. I'm going to have to watch this replay like a few times and realize exactly what happened, because now I'm going to go into all my comp matches afraid that Symmetras are going to TP behind me on Eichenwald.
Oh man, that TP noise will haunt your nightmares now. It's always a scary thing to say. Well, and the funny thing too is on the typical maps, right, that it's probably going to happen. Like Hanamura, you're like, okay, just everybody's already like, if you see it, let us know. And you play back a little bit and you're kind of like expecting it. They had no idea that was coming, and I didn't either. So they didn't even have a chance to react to what just happened. I don't even think they hardly saw them there on the flank. So that's just incredible, incredible creativity. Um, and I've literally never seen that before. So I feel like I just like discovered a new element or something.
Yeah, that's some new tech. Somebody, if anybody out there is in the Overwatch League, go take that to the pros, see what they think. I want to see
Yeah.
if that stuff has ever been done before, because that was just such a big brain play to end that game. And was that even 5 seconds, 10 seconds?
I don't know. We might be looking at a world record. I'm not sure what just happened,
I
but
want to see the record book on that for sure.
yeah, but no, I mean it's just that incredible plays aside. Just really, really good games being played, and I know it kind of feels lopsided sometimes, but the game is really about a lot of different small engagements and edging out. So even ending 0-2, it definitely still was a competitive series. It's Team Vikings did initially win a lot of those engagements, but they just kind of didn't really push the advantage, and Team Tracer just did such a good job of slowing down, surviving, and playing it safe until they were back at full force and kind of taking Team Vikings off their power play. And maybe it's just a newer team kind of coming together. Maybe they're just trying to find their play style and their own tempo, because a lot of teams, again, like kind of what we were talking about, they have all of the different play styles coming together, right? And when I was coaching my team, what I found is a lot of my players were very comfortable playing aggressive. So we naturally slanted to being a rush, being an aggressive team, and that carried us to a lot of wins, because when you play against people that aren't used to playing aggressive, that you can just kind of keep that tempo, keep that pace. But then on the inverse, you can have a team that's very, very good defensively, and it doesn't matter how aggressive you are. They can just punish you over and over for playing aggressive by communicating and coordinating, kind of putting up this barrier and this kind of kill zone that you're walking into over and over. So it kind of seemed like that Team Vikings maybe just aren't really sure as a team what their play style is yet, and it looked like that Team Tracer just they were all very comfortable, aggressive players. So it just kind of meshed well for them. But I did see some really good stuff at a lot of Team Vikings Tracers. Their Roadhog was finding some big hooks on the flank and clearly just trying to be the playmaker and doing a really good job of it. But Team Tracer is very fast to react, very, very quick comms and very fast follow up to try to punish that flanking hog and just trying to shut down any opportunity Team Viking was trying to claw their way to turning the fight. So really big plays out of a lot of the players out of both teams. Really exciting stuff to watch.
Yeah, awesome stuff. This was a great little best of three series. So it looks like we are going to go to a quick break here. We'll be back in a little bit with more stuff. So great time to take a bathroom break. Fill up your water bottle. Do not close out of the stream. We will be back soon with more Stay Plugged In Western Showcase. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We are live here once again with the with the Stay Plugged In Western Showcase series. Excuse me, I slipped into my my usual there a little bit. To correct myself, this is the Stay Plugged In Western Showcase. You are now here for Valorant. So, as always, I am Tech Runeskin, and I am joined by two wonderful co-hosts today.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. I'm Extreme 4007, or in game it's 8. Someone stole 7 before I can get it. I'm a caster for Norwalk High School, and our team name is Floppa, so that's what we'll be known as today, which is cool. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
And I am Ailite. I'm also a caster from Norwalk High School, which is very nice. And I have quite a bit of experience this, and I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, we are all excited today. And so once again, and it looks like so really quick, you are here for Valorant. You do hear our voices. Don't worry, you're not going crazy. But we are gonna take a quick break actually, because it looks like there is a technical issue. Just know that Valorant is on the horizon. Don't leave yet. We will be right back once this technical issue is fixed.